Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Cameron and you're watching Cameron Music TV, and I'm back with another P-Valley review. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe down below to my channel and like this video, share this video with all your friends. Comment down below your thoughts on this week's episode. Let's get into it because it's already late at night and I gotta be up early and this new schedule is killing me. Alright, so first of all, let me just get out my frustrations now. The show is not coming on for another 2 weeks. There's only 8 episodes. So when the show returns on 30 August, we will only have that one and one more. So, I think they did get renewed for a second season. I've noticed a lot of people who weren't watching it before are watching it now. It's been trending every week. So congratulations to them and all the success that the show has been having. Y'all are literally killing it. Killing it. Alright, so Autumn and Mercedes are the new team. And actually, I'm going to stop calling her Autumn. I'm now going to call her Haley. Haley and Mercedes are the new dynamic duo, okay? They got all the wigs and they teamed up to get these fake IDs. Remember, Mercedes got the hookup with the old dude, you know, the one with the ankle bracelet. And he's got all these fake IDs for her. And they are going in and out of, I guess it's various different locations of this credit union, or not a credit union, of like a Western Union type place to get this money. So they got all the wigs, all the different looks, and they taking Chucalissa, okay, in the surrounding area, okay? And so in this whole exchange, you see them kind of getting closer. They kind of have like a funny little banter. They not getting too close, but as things are happening, they starting to get a little closer, right? So they pull up in Haley's hoopty at Terica's tennis lesson. And Mercedes is looking through the gate, and you know, y'all know that she really wants to have her daughter, and since she's not on the dance team, it's just really like she's really trying, right? And so the daughter's like, yeah, I seen you on the news. And remember, like, the daughter is a part of this like upper class lifestyle. Y'all seen the house, you seen the mom, I mean the girls in tennis lessons and you know all of this, right? And so to see her mom going to jail over whatever it is, you know, it's embarrassing. She can't move in with her and actually live with her and have her act as her mother and become her mother and get custody if, you know, you're getting locked up. And then that gym you're supposed to open, you didn't open the gym, and you know, it's just all these things. So I'm wondering if Terica and all them know what Patrice did. It's like, is there no sympathy or empathy for this woman who, like, her whole savings, yes, she was doing what she had to do, saved all her money, was gonna go legit, and then her own mother took it? Like, and then there should be some slight cut just in the fact that, like, look at who your mother is. Like, for your mother to do you this way, like, I can only trust that you are doing the best that you can with what you got. But no, when Shell sees, you know, that little exchange, she breaks that up and she's like, listen, I can't have this around my daughter. And she lets us know, you know, Mercedes is like, oh, her dad is rolling over in her grave. She's like, no, her dad cheated. That's how she got here. And her dad is burnt up in ashes in an urn. Okay, so I got to make decisions on her behalf because you basically, you're not fit and he has passed. I said, can you imagine your husband cheating and then passing away and you got to work with the side chick? You got to co-parent with the side, like the level of maturity, honey. The level of maturity. All right, so y'all remember last week Mississippi had seen Little Murder through the blinds kissing on Uncle Clifford. So and Little Murder was like, or LaMarcus was like, I'm gonna handle this, you know, don't worry about it. So Little Murder meets up with Mississippi, you know, at some gas station, or they outside somewhere, right? And y'all know that Mississippi is very like, she's really like social media stars in her eyes, like really trying to pop type of thing. And she's blowing up on World Star Hip Hop. That one dance and then the song is blowing up. And so she feel like, listen, I didn't see nothing the other day, but I can help you pop by basically helping me pop, let's look like we together, you know, let's give these followers something to look at, let's, you know, give them a story type of thing. And so I'm like, okay, Mississippi, you want to be his beard? Because at first I was like, is she gonna start liking him? But then I remember Diamond likes her, and in the part when they were in the studio, you could tell like she was game to do whatever needed to be done to keep his cover. So I'm like, okay, so this could work, you know, she be in the beard. But he notices like she has marks on her from, you know, obviously being beat. So I'm like, she's still being beat on. So the fact that she taking all these selfies with him and posting it with him, and she not scared of this baby daddy. Okay, because y'all remember we saw the father of her child, and he was not, first of all, he's more than just the father of her child. That was pretty much her boyfriend. And he was very creepy and did not look like he was gonna be okay with all of this, right? So they have come up with this partnership, and at least for now it's cool. Okay, so LaMarcus is texting Uncle Clifford, and Uncle Clifford is hugged up in the bed, and you know, just, you know how we get our butterflies, and we just like, oh my gosh, like, you know that feeling. And that's what's going on with Uncle Clifford, and I'm just like, oh, that is so sweet. Okay, so we hear some music going on downstairs, and Loretta Devine is Uncle Clifford's grandma. And she's actually blind, so she got the contacts in, and she moving, she dancing. But this is the type of grandma that I'm like, okay, grandma, like, she's real, she's down to earth, she understands life, right? She's accepting, she's equality driven, you know, like all of that. So you know, Uncle Clifford talking to her, telling her, you know, they enjoying each other at first, and then he's telling her like he gonna lose the paint, or she gonna lose the paint, because, you know, when you had it, I guess the grandma had a juke joint before, and then convinced, or they worked together to now have the paint. They turned into a strip club instead. And so let me see. So when she had the juke joint, she was taking out payday loans and refinancing and doing all these things, right? And so what I'm learning as a black person who's really like getting into more ownership is like, this is why we can never like get out of debt or own anything. Is because we get those payday loans, we get that refinancing, we, you know, get these high interest rates, and it's just like you can never really get out of it, right? So I'm just trying to, me and my husband are trying to be better than, be, I guess, financially like knowledgeable more than our ancestors were, right? So it's a whole lot, especially when it's embedded, and then systemic racism, it's a whole thing. So anyway, we see that Uncle Clifford she didn't just, y'all, I'm gonna get this right, she didn't just be like, oh, let me take out all these loans for the paint. It's like a lineage, okay? It happened before. This is generational curses, like I be saying. It happened before, and obviously, you know, Uncle Clifford followed suit, right? So, Uncle Clifford is talking to, you know, Loretta Devine, and she can tell that there's a guy, right? And she's like, go on, invite him over. You know, I done made neck bones. I made this, I made that. I was like, this is just the sweetest thing. Like, even when LaMarcus comes over later on, they just all flirting and cute. And, you know, Loretta Devine is telling, I don't remember the grandma's, like, the character name, but she's telling all these stories and talking about he was switching when he came out the womb, or she was switching when she came out the womb. And LaMarcus just eating it up and just, you know, loving to just be around and like really listening and attentive. And I just was like, oh my gosh, I just want these two to be together on the outside. And you could tell Uncle Clifford is so smitten with LaMarcus, so smitten, so much to the point that LaMarcus gets a text like, oh, I think it's from DJ Never Scared, you know, the kid. He's like, you know, come on down to the studio, and LaMarcus is like, I'm on my way, but never shows up apparently. And so even with that, Uncle Clifford's like, oh yeah, like you have somewhere that you gotta be, but you're totally ignoring it to be here with me. And I was just like, oh my gosh. It's just so cute to me, because it's like, there's like a legitimate relationship brewing here, and it's like all of the cute stuff that we go through when you first get with somebody, right? Like the butterflies and the cute texts and what you want to do, and you know, meeting each other's families and just being in each other's space. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. Okay. All right, y'all, so I totally forgot to mention the whole studio situations that happen, and it's very pertinent to the story, okay? So basically, Little Murder's in the studio. They're basically celebrating, trying to think of, you know, I got to come out with another hit. And the manager is giving him a hard time. Now, remember, Mississippi was like, your manager don't really be managing you. He ain't doing nothing. You got 5 pictures on social media. You do not have no social media presence, low key, like nothing. And so what is he really doing? But this vibe that the manager is giving off, he is real, like jealous. He eyeing Mississippi. He just is giving off bad vibes. And basically, you know, they ask, where was you at, LaMarcus? Because we hit you up the other night. You ain't answer, right? And so Mississippi, thinking quick on her feet, she sits in his lap. She giving him a kiss. And they all just kind of looking like they want a piece. But that manager, we're going to have to keep our eyes on that manager, because he is up to something. Jealousy, envy, something. Anyway, back to the video. So, Gidget's little boyfriend, honey, he is at the motel, and I mean the cheapest and dirtiest of motels. He all cheating on her with these girls, and basically Big L shows up, and Big L got a plan to save the pink, and it's not legal. Don't look very legal, but Big L's like, I got to do what I got to do, okay? So they talking, and he says, you know, don't tell Gidget that I'm in town. But I'm like, I was wanting Gidget to walk in and see what you was up to, but she probably has an idea. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so Autumn and Mercedes are in the diner talking, and they are basically talking money. They're talking money, and you know, they're talking about hiding the money, the refrigerator getting too full. But we see that Autumn, or Haley, has this plan, right? They keep going back to get this money. She keeps saying like only 5 more times or 10 more times, and we almost done. And we see by the end of the episode that she's planning on leaving town. And no sooner than she's planning on doing that, it's like she don't even know Montavious Hill's in town. So I'm like, okay, you leaving town in the nick of time, okay? But in the previews for the next episode, we see that she's still there. So she ain't leave town. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. She has this plan, and she's working with Mercedes, and they kind of clowning each other because, you know, Mercedes hid her money in the building fund, and Haley talking about hiding her money in the locker at the strip club. She gets her combination, and but anyway, Andre walks in. She don't really speak, you know, she just kind of looks at him, but he ends up paying for their food. And I'm just like, Andre, let it go, Andre. Let it go. Let it go, Andre. Okay? So, but we see like this whole relationship brewing between the two. I'ma just, from here, I feel like I didn't really type as much as I wanted to, so here I'm gonna try to recall. Okay, Autumn and Mercedes, you know, they chilling at Mercedes' place. Haley's at Mercedes' place. And, you know, she getting nervous because old boy over there and his ankle bracelet just beeping. And it's just like, okay, leave. Okay, leave. Then leave. Then leave. Okay, and so she asks to use the restroom, and that's when she sees Terica's room. You know, Mercedes is like, she like green now, I painted this purple. But you see, like, this is a tender moment between the two, because Haley has lost her daughter, who we now know her name is Autumn, and Mercedes can't get her daughter. Even though she's right there, she can see her just fine. She cannot get the custody and hang out with her and be around her because of basically who she is and her lifestyle, right? So these two have more in common than they thought they did. I don't know if Mercedes was just threatened by her in the beginning. I don't know. But it's cool to see them two working together. Now, by the end of the episode, Haley has called Andre early in the morning, basically to say her goodbyes. And I'm like, first of all, where are you going? Like, we missing some information, right? Because I'm thinking she just gonna skip town. But I'm like, what? Why would you just leave if you don't even know old dude is in town? What is the plan? I need to know the plan. But like I said, that's not going to end up happening. Actually, before that, Mississippi tries to give her a hard time about using Mercedes' locker. And, you know, Autumn kind of gives her an in. Haley gives her an in. She's like, you know, I'm fine with sharing. Here's the combination, but kind of to show her the gun because everybody can see these bruises on Mississippi's face. So while the ladies are actually back there in the dressing room, the rest of them all notice this post that Mississippi put up, and they all know about the father of her son. They know about her coming in with bruises, so they're scared for her, and she's snapping and defensive. And I'm just like, girl, these girls are worried about your well-being. Okay, so while you snapping on them, they are truly worried, and I would be worried as well. So that's why, you know, Haley shows her that gun, and I don't know if she's gonna end up using it, but she might need to. Okay, now the thing with Lil Murder and Mississippi is Mississippi's trying to shop this whole thing of headlining and have like a murder night to Uncle Clifford. Like, let me just save this club, like it'll bring in a lot of cash. Like, even if she's like, it's gonna close anyway, so let me just do it, right? And so at first Uncle Clifford don't seem like she really like feeling it, and then she's like, you know what, I taught you well, like let's do it. Okay, so we gonna see if it's enough to save the bank. Now, something I saved for the very end is this whole thing with Andre and Corbin and Wayne and the other dude, I can't even think of the family name. Okay, now they all in this room late at night. Andre playing with the guns, Wayne and the full brother with him, they talking to him about history and stuff, and you know, Corbin sitting over there, and they asking Corbin, make our drinks, do this, do that. So I'm already feeling uncomfortable. I'm just like, why do y'all treat this man like this? Like, yes, I get it, your dad cheated with the maid who was a black maid, and this is the product. Okay, and then to get back at y'all, when he passed, he left a substantial amount to Corbin as well. So of course, you know, they have some ill feelings towards him, but I'm just like, you wouldn't be telling me to make your drink. You wouldn't be treating me like a slave or a maid. You wouldn't be doing that. Okay, and Corbin can kind of, you can see that he feels like, no, I'm unappreciated. I have a say. I want, you know, he wants to lease this land, or this land, because he wants longevity, he wants legacy. And you guys know, this is another thing that they don't tell us, is that when you lease, it's like that's a revolving door of money that you're getting. Just like when you what is it called? Like if you're on a show and you just sell it or sell your rights, versus like there's something else that you always get the royalties. If you do the one where you always get the royalties, you'll always be paid, versus just selling all your rights. You have no more power, you have no more say. And that was the whole thing Corbin was saying. Now, it got pretty deep in this room. So much to the point that Wayne got a gun pointed at Corbin, and he like, well, we don't know if it's loaded or what. And I'm like, they didn't like him, so this was bound to happen. That's why I would not have been up in this room. I tweeted, we not about to be in no room late at night playing with guns with these racist brothers. We not about to be we about to be downtown at the office with a notary. Like, we not, no. So when he pulls the gun on Corbin and then switches it to Andre, and he laughing like, you know, all this to pressure him to get him to sign, I'm just like, Bro, this is wild. This is wild. So Corbin does end up signing, but he's like hurt, and like, I mean, it's just a whole lot. You can see it all in his face. So what Andre ends up doing is he's talking to old dude in Bora Bora on FaceTime, and he is like really convincing him. He's like, I convinced the brothers to lease it, you know, telling him like the reward and the get back that they're gonna be able to get, and like he really sells it so much to the point where the boss is like, fine, whatever, just take care of it. And so Andre got a win. Like, he's really feeling like, okay, he did something good. Like, this was really, really good, right? Well, his wife don't feel the same. And when I seen his beautiful wife with the natural hair and the brown skin and had on the doctor's lab coat, I was like, I know you did not cheat on this woman. I know you did not cheat on this woman. You did. Okay, now technically, did he lay down with Haley? No, he did not lay down with her, but he did some things over that phone. And then he also, you know, emotionally, he's so enamored and taken back by Haley, right? So there's that. Let me see. Oh, basically the wife is like, should you have disturbed the peace the way that you did? Like, you not from Chucalissa, you from Atlanta, like, you losing yourself there, and you need to come on back. Like, I miss you, this, that. And, you know, Andre's kind of offended because he's like, I did a huge thing. This, like, made me feel good. This is my hometown. I have a lot of ties here. Like, basically, this is my dream, my aspirations. You're not backing me on it. You're not supporting me on it. So, you know what? I'm going to have to talk to you later. I was like, dang, you had to hang up on her like that. You could have said, I love you or something. So that was this week's episode. Actually, the very end, when old boy is getting his ankle bracelet back, we see that he sees a missing persons poster, and it's with Haley Cotton with this arm around her with this big old pinky ring. And I was like, Lord. Now, the only reason I could see him speaking up is because he did help them with the fake IDs. And he like, oh, your name is hot, like I can't do it type of thing. But Haley's supposed to be on her way out of town. But we see in the preview for the next episode, she not. Anyway, you guys let me know what you thought about this week's episode, my review. Comment down below your thoughts. And I'll see you guys next time. I'm going to sleep, child. I'm going to sleep.